Hello everybody, it's me again. I've decided to make a little bit of a video about my experiences and also share my reasons, mainly share my reasons about using Arch Linux as a, operating system on my main machine. The first thing I like to talk about I have 8 reasons in total why a regular user like yourself currently watching this video should consider using Arch Linux. So first off, the Arch Wiki. Oh my gosh, it's one of the best, if not the best, documentations to any Linux distro that there is. Basically, any kind of problem that there could be, you can easily solve it either by looking into the Arch Wiki or simply looking online. But most of the problems that happen with Arch can be solved just by looking directly at the Arch Wiki and looking for the error that you have, and you'll most likely find what you're looking for, which is really incredible. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the pacman package manager and the Arch user repository. So the pacman package manager is, let's say, a command line tool that lets you install software, kind of like the what's it called, the apt command in Ubuntu. That's basically the same thing, but it is different. Basically, it is far more powerful than any other tool. It lets you install basically any kind of software that there is, and you can use pacman with more package managers such as pacman, which is a graphical user interface for pacman, and it's actually pretty cool. And I've mentioned the Arch user repository. Now it's kind of like your regular repositories that you have in Ubuntu or Debian, but, and that's the real kicker, these repositories are actually not only built by users, but these are far more secure, and they contain almost every bit of software that you may need. And that's incredible. Like any kind of new software that gets released, well, because Arch is a rolling release, which means it gets updates regularly. So it has basically the latest, well, almost the latest software available in its repository. Once you update, you can issue the update command and you can be assured that you get the latest software. It's that simple. Yeah. So the other thing I'd like to talk about is the Arch Linux community. So apart from the Arch Wiki and that Arch Linux has a vast user community, which voluntarily basically decides to help anybody interested in learning the operating system. It also is great in a way that they help with other bits of software that a user may have problems with. If someone has a problem with a piece of software, they can help you out. You just have to ask, send them a log. They will look at the log, they will determine if it's something important or not. They will tell you if they can find it out. They will tell you what do you have to change, what you have to install, and it basically changes the whole ordeal of using Linux as you were able to use before. Before you had to go like through a bunch of wikis, forums, ask around, and with almost no luck, which is kind of a shame. So the other point I want to come across is stability and reliability. So even though Arch Linux is a normal rolling release, that basically is telling you that you get like a lot of the software already like available to you, and all of the packages, well, not all, most of the packages are thoroughly tested to ensure stability. Now it may happen that after an update you get a bricked system, but you can easily fix that by just going back. You can just roll back easily. I'm not gonna show you how. I didn't need to do that, so you can figure it out. Just look at the Arch wiki, it's most likely that. Now, there are a few updates that, as I mentioned, can break things, but these updates include the updates to the kernel, which prevent any sort of malicious attacks from happening, and also help you to like stay secure on the World Wide Web, which is kind of a more dangerous place as of now. Yeah. So now this part is my favorite. Its ease of use, flexibility, and customization. Oh my god! So at first glance, it might seem that Arch Linux is like, let's say, stiff. Like you cannot change anything. That's what you're stuck with, and that's actually not the case. Once you install it and boot up, you can basically install any desktop environment you want. I am using XFCE with a few themes, a few icon themes, a few applets. It's customized alright, I think. I'm not gonna go into detail what I'm using. You can customize basically how much you want, and you can create some really beautiful desktop environments, which is actually my next reason why you should consider using Arch. There are so many configurations you can look up, see if that's what you're looking for. You can use someone else's configuration. If they have it fairly documented, you can easily replicate it. It's just incredible how much you can do with just looking at what the community has done. It's incredible. Now, out of the box, it ships like with a very minimalistic amount of apps, with just the basics that you need to get yourself up and running. And it's up to the user to build the graphical user environment and use it to its full potential. So it's up to you to basically make it your own, and that's actually a really cool thing. And since I've mentioned the ability to build, that you are building it on your own, this is actually the last and final reason right now that I'm going to talk about, and it's perfect for learning base. It's the perfect learning base. What I mean by that is that people who are interested in learning how Linux works will love, and they will love Arch Linux. And I myself, I've been trying to force myself to use Linux basically since I first heard of it, which was like 5-6 years ago. Every single time I forced myself, I was like, yeah, I can do this, but after a week or so, I still got back to Windows. And just recently, I've switched 3 distros. Sorry about that. I've switched from Ubuntu to Debian, and from Debian to Arch. Now, bear in mind, Ubuntu I've been using most of the time, and Debian is basically the base of Ubuntu, so there's almost no change. So going from Debian-based distributions, and Debian literally, into Arch it's like a huge mountain that you have to, well, like climb in order to accomplish something. And to be fair, it actually taught me a lot about Linux. It's incredible. Once you learn how to build the desktop environment so that you can use your computer to the fullest, you won't believe how quickly you can get it done with the installation. Back when I tried it a few weeks ago, it took me at least an hour or two to figure out everything, and after all that, I still couldn't install it because I'd done something wrong. Nowadays, it takes me like 45 minutes to get up and running with like the desktop environment, login manager, and all the applets that I use, and the desktop environment. All the customizations and extra software are installed later, but to get the basics where you can use your computer as a regular computer, it takes me about like 45 minutes and I'm up and running. Most of the time is spent waiting. I have to stress that. Most of the time is spent waiting until it downloads and installs all the packages that you need. So if it seems like a long process, it's mostly dependent on how quick your internet connection is. Now, if your internet connection is faster than mine, I have 2.5 megabits per second. So it isn't the fastest in the world. So it takes me around 45 minutes to get up and running. If you have a faster internet connection, it can take you far less time. And especially if you have a really fast computer, which mine isn't, but it is a fairly capable machine. So yeah, that's basically all of it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to. I'm not forcing you, and make sure to have a great day, guys, and stay awesome.